It's Thursday, which means I'm going to be doing a live training again, like I promised, all throughout February. So I started in the beginning or the middle of January to come live every Thursday for 6 weeks to help you guys with some things that are big sticking points in your business that we all know are problems and we need to get them fixed. So today we're going to talk about what Bob Ross has to do with your business. Listen, Bob Ross has everything to do with your business. You want to know why? Because we're going to talk about niching down today. Hey, who's here? Who just popped up with some love? I love it. All right. Andrew. Oh my gosh, there you are, homie. How you doing? Yeah. Bob is the man. Bob Ross is everything. Everything that everybody needs to care about. And okay, so if you were an artist and you could paint anything, like babies, fruit, landscapes, architecture, whatever, do you think it would be easier to like randomly create anything as you go, like anything that you looked at as you were going, all these different objects like crazy and just hoping that, hey Angel, hoping that somebody would like what you're painting? Or do you think that it would be easier to pick one of those things that you're good at painting and say like, which do I love most? And start really honing in on that, right? Take that love that you have there and like create a style out of it and become best known for that, right? Bobby Ross, enter Bobby Ross. I'm sure that Bob Ross could paint other things. I know, right, Andrew? Do we miss him? We miss him. I'm sure that Bob could paint other things. He's an artist, right? But you know what he loved most? Say it with me. He loved happy trees so much. Happy little friends. His happy friends. His trees. And guess what? Like all the landscape lovers in the world tuned in on that free television network. I think it was like PBS. And they came like clockwork to show up to watch Bob Ross paint these happy trees, the same ones, over and over and over and over. And guess what? He's on syndicate, on repeat, still painting happy trees and happy little friends decades after his death. That's what niching down looks like because his brand is still bringing in new viewers all the time. And the old ones are tuning in to reminisce and to get that nostalgia. Or the old ones are tuning in and being like, well, I watched Bob Ross when I was younger, but I was too busy then. And now that I have time, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to paint some happy trees with him because he's the guy who knows how to paint happy trees and landscapes. And he makes it look so easy, and I'm here for it. Guys, my 13 and my 15-year-old know who Bobby Ross is. And I don't know if I'm allowed to call him Bobby Ross. Is that like blasphemy or something with the Ross man? I don't know, but feels right. Feels like my friend. But Bob Ross is pop culture now. That's why my young teenagers know about him. He's everywhere, and he's like this iconic brand because of his quirky, hippie, jolly love for trees and happy accidents. Like that's what he's known for. And so it was such a weird thing to do, but he owned the space. He like leaned all the way into it, claimed it all himself. He didn't apologize for it. He called himself out for things like that, but he just did it anyway because he was accepting of himself. So what, like, if you think about that, if you're looking at your brand and what you do, what are some things that you are either known for? Like, think about this. And this is like the Thursdays that I do this, guys, is, hey, Josh, the Thursdays that I do this is a time where you can show up with pen and paper and like take these notes because all these things are stackable. Everything that I'm talking about are elements that you're going to need in your business. And some of the things, if you don't have them, they might be the sticking point that's keeping you from growing and keeping you blocked. So if you want to have a pen and paper available to you, yes, Angel, then it would be a good idea, probably. Okay, so what are some of the things that you are known for in your business or your personal life that you're like a little bit of, maybe you're not known for it yet, but you're a little bit afraid to step into it because it feels a little bit awkward or it feels weird or you feel a little bit different than other people and you're busy comparing yourself to what the other experts in the space are doing and what you think is more professional. I want to invite you to change your mind about what's professional and what the competitors are doing because that's exactly what you shouldn't be doing. You should be leaning into what's incredibly unique about you and what you feel most comfortable doing. Whether it's like Bob Ross is like gently, like he might be high as a kite when he's painting for all we know. I don't know. But he is like out there living his best with all of his little landscape pieces and he's he's totally in his own bubble when you watch him, right? And that's what we love about him. Hey, Sharon. And that's what we love about him because we know like we're like in the universe with Bob Ross when he's in there painting. Like we're like everything's all weird in here and it's okay. Andrew, we don't make mistakes, we just make happy accidents. Exactly. See what I mean? Like now whenever I make mistakes like that and I'm talking to my kids, I'm like, it's a happy accident. Bob Ross taught me that because he's a man. So let's talk about your let's talk about your audience and the repeat factor of Bob Ross, right? Bob Ross is doing, like I said, the same thing over and over and over for decades. And we just keep on showing up. So what is the excuse that you're making about, oh, I don't want to say, oh, I've already said that. I talked about that 2 weeks ago. I kind of already said that in a live last week. How about this? How about your audience is not going to take your advice right off the bat? They won't. Maybe one person will. How about your reach is not as far as you think it is? If you've got thousands of people on your friends list, you might have a few hundred people who are live at the same time as you are, who are like online and like available. And you might have like 5% of those who are going to see and be notified about the live that you do or about the content that you push. So most people on your friends list will not see the stuff that you do, which is why you have to repeat it. And the other thing is the people that do see your stuff, if you keep talking about it and it's valuable, then they're not going to be mad at it. They're going to be like, ah, gosh, she said that last week. I totally remember that now. I'm so glad she said it again. I needed the reminder. I didn't take action on that. We need reminders. We all do, right? How many times have you heard, like, put it in the chat. How many times have you heard somebody tell you something and like on the 12th time, you're like, I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to do it. Happened yesterday. I was in a meeting with my tax accountant. I love him dearly. And he said, oh, I've been saying this for 2 weeks. I got to write it down. I've been saying I'm going to do this. I've got to write it down. I'm like, write it down right now. Pen, paper, go. And he's like, I'm doing it. Sticky note. Put it over there. And then he actually did something about it after 2 weeks of talking about how he was going to do. We all do that. So Courtney says, Rosie the Riveter. Oh my gosh, it is too, isn't it? And Andrew got me on a shot like this. So wait for it, Courtney. You're going to see it. So we just need the reminder. So I don't want you guys to be afraid. Shane, I want you to start pronouncing your name in a French accent, please. It's only right. Look at how it's spelled. Come on. I want you to start challenging your belief on, like, am I repeating myself and is that okay? Of course it's okay. Like, you must. In fact, you must because of the reach of your audience. Like, it's such a low reach, it actually doesn't reach as far as you wish it would. And because people need reminders. They do. And because you need to be known for something in your space. So talk about that often, right? So, listen, if you could give your audience something that they needed, that they could also get on Google. Here's another block, right? We're talking about niching down. We're talking about getting into the space, niching down, getting into your weird, getting into your creative, doing whatever is more you than the competition, and owning it and not being afraid about that, not being scared about that, not feeling like scarcity about that, but like knowing that that is the thing that's going to catapult you further. People want to go broad. People want to go like, oh, I can help everybody. I'm sure you can. Listen, I'm sure you can. Bob Ross can help everybody too. But people who don't like hippies are not tuning in to Bob Ross. And guess what? There's more people on the planet in perpetuity because we all just keep on watching. People are born after he's dead and still watching him. Like, there are so many people that you'll never be able to serve, even if you show up all the time as your weird self and you keep repeating stuff, right? So let's assume that you narrow down your niche, like to just the people who you really, really, really want to talk to. Hey, Jessica. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to get to that exactly. Okay, so when you're hanging out on other places online, like you're talking to the people that you're talking as you're speaking, the weirdness that you have, you're niching down, you're repeating the stuff that you're really good at. You're finding these people that want to like listen to you in places where like they're going to hang out, right? You meet them, whether it doesn't matter what social media channel you're on, whether you're YouTube, whether you're Clubhouse, whether you're Instagram, whether you're TikTok, whether you're Facebook, whether you're like any of them. It doesn't really matter. It's about finding where these people are hanging out, and if you know who you're really going to be working with, who like your most ideal, most fantastic, perfect scenario of a client, what else do they have going on in their life? Like, what else are they doing? Where are they hanging out? People that are wanting to find yoga, like yoga clients, hot yoga clients, you don't want to go into a hot yoga group. They're already serving them in there. You might want to go into like a greens group, like something where they're talking about like super healthy eating, right? Like extra healthy, or something about like maybe essential oils, or something about meditation, right? Because that's a complementary service to meditation. A lot of the people that are into, hot yoga are into those alternative things as well. And so that's where you find these people. So niching down and owning who you are and being that weirdness in those spaces where all those people can see you. It's like they're going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. And also, I can find, like Andrew just said, they can get everything I offer on YouTube. Yeah, of course. And guess what? They're cruising down, scrolling on YouTube, trying to find a person that they like to look at, like they like to listen to, that they like to watch, because they can get the information anywhere. But if they're not, like, I don't go on YouTube and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna hit the first one. No, if your voice makes my ears bleed, I can't watch it. I can't listen to it. I'm gonna scroll till I find somebody who's got a more pleasing voice that gives the message in a better way, where I feel like I connect with them. I don't want to listen to somebody who bores me. I want to listen to somebody that I would hang out with. That's what your audience is doing with you. So, like, yes, Andrew, they can get anything that they want on YouTube, but you're an awesome DJ. You've got a Canadian accent. You've got a really cool backstory. You've got a really fun personality, and you bring flavor to the space. So while they could get the information other places, they're going to go to you once they find out about you, because they're like, oh my gosh, Andrew, please, come on. Come on. He goes walking outside on lives. He keeps it interesting. He gives me the tactics. He makes me feel like I can do it. Why do we have accents? I don't know, man. I think it's to attract our ideal clients, honestly. This is why I'm obsessed with all the British people in my life. I'm like, keep talking. And Irish and everything, actually, that's not American. Okay, so they're going to start following you because of the weirdness, the unusual characteristics, the quirkiness. And when I say weird, I mean, that's awesome. Like, I love weirdness. I love it. Is that Lalita? Where are my glasses? I don't know. Is that how I think that's right. Yes, it is Lalita. It's such an exotic name and I love it. Welcome. Okay, so the weirdness is like, it's a positive. I'm saying that as a huge positive, because everything else, like, if you're not being a little bit weird and unique and yourself, isn't it boring? Isn't it just so boring? And don't you hate feeling like you have to polish yourself all the time? Like you got to show up a certain way, or like you have to do it how the other people are doing it? Well, if they're successful, their way must be winning. It's not that they're showing up professional that's making them win. It's that they happen to find a tribe of people who like the way they do it. It's not the fact that they're polished. It's the fact that they spent probably years and years cultivating this network of people in a way that was authentic to them. And trust, if you find them boring, they're probably boring in the offline too. You know what I mean? Like, so don't make it mean anything about who you are and how you have to change. You don't have to change, and you won't do well if you do. So here's how you start. Okay, so we're going to talk about niching down, what that actually looks like. I'm going to give you some examples. Because there's light at the end of the tunnel for this, I swear to God. Okay, so there's three main industries we're talking about: wealth, health, and relationship. And so the wealth space is like, you know, anything that can get you more financial security. So whether that's tax planning, budgeting, whether it's investments, whether it's increasing your business, whether like side businesses, whether it's like strategic planning, all that stuff, that is in the wealth space, right? And then the relationship space, obvious. We're talking about romantic relationships, work relationships, familial relationships, friendships, relationships with yourself. So like that inner self stuff and like healing old wounds, that kind of stuff, like spiritual relationships. When people are going into spiritual groups, when they're talking about God, and that's all relationship stuff. So that's in that space. And in the health space is clear too, right? Health is everything to do with your body, your mental health, body and mental health, all of it, everything. So finding that kind of a balance. Lucy, my girl. Lucy, how we doing? So health, wealth, and relationships are the three major industries, and among those, you're in one of those spaces, right? And let me know which space you're in. I'd love to see where you guys are at with everything. Andrew, I know your music. Lucy is all about, actually, Lucy, you're about health and relationships, really. Who's, oh, yeah, I was like, where's the yo coming from? Of course, from you, Lucy. So let me know like which space that you're in right now. And then, so beyond that, like, it's to say, let's say your health, right? Let's say are you mental health? What are you? So we've got the general category of health. We're talking about niching down, right? We've got the general category of health among the three different industries. What kind of health? Okay, let's say your mental health. All right, what kind of mental health? Do you help with bipolar? Do you help with schizophrenia? Do you help with anxiety or panic disorder? Okay. What age ranges do you work with? Are you like, I'm exclusive with children with anxiety. I'm exclusive with actually teens with bipolar. No. I'm exclusive with only women postmenopausal that suffer from depression. That is a very narrow niche, right? And you're like, okay, well, I mean, I'm a mental health professional. I can help people with lots of things. It's not just depression for me, right? But if you're a mental health professional, What is the thing that you love the most? What is the thing that you feel like you are really impactful with? You can help people more if you focus on this thing. And those people happen to typically be postmenopausal women. It's that, right? Of course you can help more people than that. But guess what? You're watering down your message when you try. And your message is the thing that's going to attract the leads to you and attract your audience. So when you start talking about other things, like you're like, yeah, I'm really good at the depression stuff for postmenopausal women. I'm really good at that. But today I kind of want to talk about bipolar a little bit. And the next day I kind of want to talk about panic disorder a little bit. Okay, well, those people that are like seeking depression help, that are postmenopausal women, and they show up on a day that you're talking about bipolar, they're going to be like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know what I'm going through. She doesn't get it. Meanwhile, you do get it. You get it. But your message is so watered down that they're like, I'll just keep scrolling until I find somebody that focuses on this so I know that they eat, sleep, and breathe this so that they can really help me and I can trust that, right? So, yeah, Lucy says, I love seeing the transformation of my clients just after 5 days. Yeah, you're super impactful. Lucy reprograms people's mindset with anyone that's willing to change, mental health, mindset control. And Lucy, beyond that, like you can go deeper, right? Like who's your favorite to work with? If it's men, if it's women, it doesn't matter. It can be both, but also what are some more defining factors that you can identify among those people? Are they former addicts? Are they former alcoholics? Are they former trauma cases? Like what, you know what I mean? So like the more you niche down, the more you get to know your people, the better you can speak to them, the more you can relate stories to them. Like I know that my people, there's probably not a single person in my mix that doesn't know who Bob Ross is. You know what I'm saying? And there are certain overlaps of the people that you work with where there's going to be a through line of commonality. So you know that they know everything that you're talking about is going to click with them, right? So it's about niching down, and we fear that if we niche down, it's like we're losing all these people. Okay. I will address this. Amazing that yes, you could work with all of these people again. You could. It's going to take a lot more energy and a lot more work to try to create a program and a systemized fashion where you can help all these different people that have all these different types of lifestyles going on, all these different types of personalities, all these different sub issues going on, and you're trying to create a systemized program because, by the way, you can't scale unless you have some kind of a system. You can't scale. You can't scale by doing one-on-one and customizing everything one-on-one. You won't scale that way. So unless you can create a system and have these commonalities between people, you're not going to scale and you're going to burn out like crazy. I see it all the time. And you're not going to be as happy. So let other people serve the bipolar stuff, or serve the ADHD, or serve the whatever in children. Like, you do your thing, get really good at that, get known for that, do it better than anybody else because that's all you do. And guess what? You're winning. Because here's the deal. There are too many people. I don't care how niche you get. There are too many people in this world that you can even ever serve, that need your stuff, that you could ever even reach. Okay, so like the possibility of, yes, you're eliminating people, but who cares? You actually can't serve everybody anyway, even if you niched all the way down. There is room for everybody. The scarcity stuff is a joke. It's not even a real thing. So Andrew is showing the door to anybody who doesn't know Bob Ross, and I'm here for it. I'll open that door right now. So, and then what do we have here? Oh, Lucy, yeah, you're talking about your rating for sure. Don't accept everyone. I know you can't accept people. This is the thing. When I get on, so as niche as I get too, like I help, like personally, my personal brand, I'll help people who are like women who are looking to, they've already made some money in their business and they're looking to scale to the next level. They're looking to bring their business into a setting where they're making money consistently, where they can count on that income every month, where they've got systems, where they're not working themselves to death. Because I have 4 children, I have several businesses. I'm not working myself to death. I don't do 40-hour weeks. I do this full time, but I don't do 40-hour weeks. I'm typically working around 32 hours a week. So, because I got way more stuff going on just like everybody else. And when, you got 4 kids at home that are remote learning, how are you going to work more than 40 hours a week? But how are you going to do these things? You got to have systems. You got to have time management and productivity programs going on in your life. Like, you have to have something that you do systematically every day where you can fit it all in. You got to keep your stress levels in check. You got to serve your clients. You got to bring more clients in. You have to have systems, and you don't have to kill yourself to do it. So these are the women that I talk to. They're already making money, but they need it consistently. They probably want to ditch their main thing and do this side hustle as a full-time gig, because that's what really lights them up. And they were doing the other job out of necessity. That's where I came from. And I didn't want to leave because I was afraid that I couldn't make it, you know? And then when you get past that and you realize, man, there's just so many people I can serve. So many people need my help, and I'm really good at what I do. And you just say, I'm just going to lean all the way in and do it. It's amazing. And guess what? Yes, of course I can help other people. I've helped people in the offline space in all the industries because I worked in commercial real estate. So I dealt with tenants all over the board, like international, real estate. I dealt with industrial. I dealt with governmental. I dealt with health. I dealt with wealth. I dealt with sub-relationship. I dealt with spas, like everything, landscaping. I mean, everything. Solar energy was another one. Like, it's all across the board. And you find that there's foundational elements to every business that you can help them grow with. And guess what? There are lots of industries that I just don't enjoy working with. Can I serve them? Can I help them? Yes, and I have. I don't like it. It's not that much fun for me. What do I love? I love making an impact in women's lives especially, but men too, where it's affecting their family. If I know, and I do, that I can help them make more money, create better systems, live life less stressed, simplify the process so that they can make the money, guess what happens to their family? Their family life gets better. They enjoy life with their family. They're more relaxed at home. They have more money to spend on their family doing fun things that they enjoy. They bond more as a family. Like, they save more. They get out of debt. They are able to go on their first vacations ever. They are able to stop wearing Walmart jeans and feel like they fit in because they're wearing some like a name brand jean in middle school when they're struggling and their kids are feeling embarrassed. That's what I work for. That's what I love. So I'm not here to line pockets of the millionaires making more millions. I'm here to help people affect their lives in meaningful ways for the families and their communities. That's what I love. So that's me niching down all the way down. And I know that I can help other people, and I'm not helping them. It's not for me. It's not what I'm called to. So, Sharon, I hear you, girl. Andrew, really got nothing better to do. Lucy said, I'm sick 2 weeks now and I love what I do so much. I get up and I work. It's because I serve people and transform their lives for the better. Nothing stops me. Yeah, like, this is what, when you do it like that, when you niche down and you know your people and you've got this through line for them and you help them, it's so much easier to get up when you're not feeling great. Like, when I was feeling my best and I had to get up for the jobs that I didn't like before, even on a good day, like a good mental health day, a good physical day, I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, what is an excuse that I could come up with today to stay home? Let's think. Like, and when versus now when I'm like not feeling well, or if I have a really bad headache or something and I wake up, like, I'm like, oh, I can get up. Let's see how I can get up. Like, let me see what I need to do in order to show up for work today, because I love it. I love it so much. So it's all about that. Lucy says you got to have a big why and you're serving people. Exactly. So consistency online with your messaging. Yes. Say yes to repeating. Say yes to niching down. If you got the health, wealth, and relationship bubbles, what inside each bubble are you really, really good at? What do you do well? And what do you love mixed with what do you love to do well? So, like, I'm sure that you can do the bipolar, the depression, the anxiety, and whatever, but what do you do well within those, like the best, and what do you enjoy doing the best, and who do you love working with? Are teens more fun than like crotchety old ladies or old men? Like, are teens more fun for you? Do they light you up? Do you feel like you can make more impact with them? Go there, dig in there, because it's about what lights you up too, and you're going to serve better when you enjoy it more, period. Like, that's not even science. I'm sure it's in science somewhere, but you know it to be true. So how can you define that person more? How can you break it down more and focus and narrow in on what you do as a specialty? Consider yourself a specialist. And if it helps you, consider that, like, you have like general surgeons for sure, but like, you don't have an expert plastic surgeon who's also like an expert brain surgeon. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want somebody who's like 50-50 brain surgery. I want somebody who's only doing brain surgery if I need brain surgery, right? So that's you. So of course that doctor's going to be brilliant and he can probably do surgery on other things, but if he's spending half of his time doing facelifts, I want the guy who's going like really hard deep into brain surgery, because it's your brain. So that's what it's like for you. Do not be afraid to go niche-er and serve, because you can serve better, but make sure that you're coupling it with something that you enjoy the most. And if you have a couple things that you're like, yeah, but I love them both the most, you can't. doesn't work that way. But even if you feel like you do one thing. Just pick one thing, like draw out of a hat, pick one thing, and the other thing is going to be there for you. Once you decide to systemize and grow this and scale this thing, then you can dig into that thing that you love also and create the same systems for that. So you can shelf things. They've got a shelf life for forever. Your expertise is not going anywhere, but you need to scale one thing at a time and stop trying to hit so broad because it's killing you. So, let me tell you something. I know I've been teasing stuff all week about video games and about game life, and it's because there's something coming. And I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm not going to tell you about it today, but I will tell you this week coming up. So I want you to tune in. It's going to be a Monday thing. It's going to be Monday. So anyway, I'm glad that you guys, I only work with people that are fun. Exactly. I don't work with anybody who's negative, Lucy. I won't work with people who have a bad attitude because they bring down the group of people that I work with and they bring me down. And I don't want to have to like pump myself up to get on a call with somebody that's not going to receive all the help that I'm giving them because they got a bad attitude. So, Andrew, take my Bob Ross story because it's not even my story. It's Bob's. Bob is for the people. Bob Ross for president. Bob Ross for president of the world, in fact. Dare I say it? I did. It's already said. Hey, you're fun. And Lucy said I have a form in the beginning that helps me gauge my clients. Yep. Nobody gets on a call with me without answering a bunch of questions because I want to make sure they're a good fit to even talk to because I have very limited time to get on the phone with people. So, but you know what? The fact is, if you show up consistently, like I said, and you repeat your message and you are focused on what you do and people are clear on the specialty that you provide, and they like you and they keep showing up for you, chances are really good that they're already going to be a fit, right? Like they keep showing up for you, and if you like them and they like it's going to be a fit. So chances are really good that those pre-qualifying questions you have to get on a call with them or whatever, they're going to be the right answers. I've only had to, in the last year and a half, deny 2 people from a phone call from me, only 2. Everybody else is like, I can definitely help them. I'm happy to help, happy to get on the phone with them. Even if I don't think that they'll be a good client in the end after speaking with them, I'm happy to spend my time talking to them and figure out how I can push them in the right directions, even if I don't invite them to work with me. So think about it like that. And if you show up like that, if you show up regularly, if you show up authentically, you show up with a message that helps people and you repeat that message so that everybody knows what you do, you're going to find the right people. And just make sure, like I said before, go into those like subcategories, go into those what's the word for it? Complementary environments. So like I said, if you're a hot yoga instructor, you're not going into hot yoga groups to talk to people and have relationships. And by the way, not sell to them, talk to them, meet people, chat, relationships, networking, old school, right? You're not going in there. You're going into like maybe some like super greens group or some kind of a meditation group or an essential oils group or a hiking group or something that is a complementary industry or activity to what it is that you do so that it's not competitive and it's supportive, right? So that is what I want you to know about niching down. And I just want you to go get yourself a clip of Bob Ross. Maybe I'll put it in the comments. I'll throw a YouTube link in the comments for Bob Ross just so that you can just tap back into that loveliness and remember that your accidents aren't accidents, or they're not mistakes, they're happy accidents. Dang it, Bob, I did you wrong. Dang it. I gotta watch more Bob Ross so I can get the quotes right again. Okay, guys, back to work. I love you all for showing up. Stay tuned for Monday. There's gonna be a little announcement, and I will catch you next week.